Hi, I'm Commissioner Nancy Jester, and welcome to Nancy Jester Reports for Tuesday, April 10th, 2018. We had your Board of Commissioners meeting today. Before I get started on that overview, I'd like to make a few announcements. Brookhaven is having a Citizens Police Academy. You can register for that no later than you have to have your forms in by April 15th, so that's next week. And the Police Academy will run from the 26th of April to June 28th on Thursday nights from 7 to 9:30 p.m. So go to their website and we'll put the information out in our newsletter as well. Doraville will have their State of the City address. Their mayor will be giving that on Friday, April 20th at 6:30. So come to the City Hall. It's an outdoor event, and there will be a concert. Afterwards, bring a lawn chair because seating will be limited. So look forward to seeing you in Doraville on Friday, April 20th. Tucker is going to have the Great American Cleanup Day this Saturday the 14th from 9 a.m. to noon at Tucker Nature Preserve on Lawrenceville Highway. Bring tools and dress appropriately for doing the hard work of cleaning up the nature preserve. So again, that's April 14th, 9 to noon. In Blackburn Park on April 21st, that's a Saturday, you can do the recycling bin exchange. We'll put that information out as well because you should register ahead of time for that. And that's a 9 a.m. to noon thing at Blackburn Park in Brookhaven on the 21st. And also on the 21st, in Tucker, the dedication to the new redesigned White Trail at Henderson Park from 10 to 11. So excited about that. Got Park Pride grant funds and bond fund money going into Henderson Park in Tucker. So that's that park has really got an amazing friends group, and they're doing wonderful things. And finally, in announcements, Lemonade Days is coming up. It's the 20th annual Lemonade Days Festival. It's April 18th to the 22nd. Brook Run Park in the city of Dunwoody. So check out that. We'll put that up on our website and newsletter as well. That's a big fun celebration. So with that, I'll go into the presentation that we had today from the CEO about the consent decree. The consent decree is the federal court order that we're under to clean up and improve, maintain, and expand our sewer system. We had many years of sewer spills that got us into this situation where we ended up negotiating a consent decree to clean up this mess with the federal government through the EPA. So the good news about this report for me was that it showed that the administration and the county is being honest with the fact that we're behind and that we have a problem. And for the first couple of years I was here in DeKalb, I would just get reports, everything's fine, everything's on schedule, everything's going well. But that really wasn't the case. So I'm glad that there's been a shift, and I think the board is getting, while I'm not completely happy with the information we're getting, at least the posture here is, I think, is more accurate of the deep problem that this is. So that's good. They've acknowledged it. That's the first step. The thing that I have some issues with this particular presentation by the CEO and his administration was their characterization of sanitary sewer overflow issues. We had been underreporting those to the EPA and EPD for, I don't know, years. And when the watershed director came in that just recently left, when he came in, he discovered this underreporting and went about correcting it. So in 2016, under the previous CEO, he corrected those reports and found all the missing sewer spills that needed to be reported, and they corrected those, and that happened in 2016. In 2017, he kept going, the department kept going and reporting more accurately the sewer spills that we were having, and we had more sewer spills than we ever had before. And in fact, one of the largest, or the largest sewer spill in DeKalb County history last year. We spilled over 14 million gallons of raw untreated sewage into the environment. And so that was 2017. Here in 2018, we still have sewer spills because, as we did acknowledge, we have not fixed the system yet. We're still a long way from having the system that is compliant with the Clean Water Act, that doesn't spill sewage, and that can adequately handle the economic development activities of a county as big and dynamic as DeKalb County. So one of the things that I take issue with in the presentation was, and there was a newspaper article I've already seen that's out about it, and I think there's reporting that in the first quarter that spills declined by 31% from 2017 to 18. I think that's a little bit misleading on two accounts. Number one, you can have fewer spills, but you can spill even more sewage. I mean, you could have a 99% decline in the number of spills, but you could still have spilled more when comparing any particular year to year, because it depends on the volume of the spill. So if one spill spilled 5 million gallons, but last year you had 10 spills and they spilled 2 million gallons, you can see the difference there. Okay, so I think that's a little bit confusing to say that we're down 31%. Also, I am very concerned that we're under-reporting spills again. We did it in the past. We acknowledged it. We had to fix that problem. The person that did that work, that acknowledged it and fixed it, they've left. And I think it appears like we are getting fewer spills reported. We get an email every time there's a spill, and I just have seen fewer of those. So I'm concerned that we may be slipping back into old ways where we under-report our spills. So I'm keeping an eye on that. But so, numbers and statistics can tell you a lot of things, so you really have to dig deeply to see what's really going on. But hopefully the county has turned a corner on its seriousness about this issue and is going to be full compliant partners with our regulatory agencies, the EPA, EPD, and really work hard to fix the sewer system in DeKalb. I'm hoping that's going to be the case. Clearly, I'm going to be tracking it to make sure it's the case, and if it's not, I will let you know. So on to the rest of the agenda today. And ironically enough, we celebrated Earth Day, even as we had a presentation about how much sewage we've spilled into the environment. So that irony was not lost on me. We had a number of public hearings regarding some right-of-ways and some traffic calming petitions. I appointed Mr. Bob Barnwell to serve on the Watershed Billing Advisory Committee, so I thank him for being willing to serve. And I thank Gay Stathis, who was my appointee just recently, but she's had to step off because of travel obligations and being out of town this summer. So thank you, Mr. Barnwell, for being willing to serve. Let's see. We accepted some grants, and one important thing we did was we approved a whole slew of intergovernmental agreements with the city of Tucker regarding their 911 services, their police services, their roads, their drainage, and the conveyance of the rest of their parkland. Earlier in the year, they took over the Tucker Rec Center and the operations of that. Now the rest of the park property was conveyed. So they were in attendance. It was great to see most of the Tucker city elected officials there and their city managers, so thank you for being there. Let's see, we approved a number of spending contracts for various pieces of equipment and so on. We did hold, and this is quite important, we did hold some things in committee that have been of concern to many of us. The first thing, let's see, let me get back to this. The sort of the big one is a change order, a very large change order to CH2M Hill Engineers regarding their management of the consent decree. This is, a lot of us have concerns about the product that we've been getting and where we are with the consent decree relative to their their particular involvement in their work. So there's just questions there. So that was deferred, and we've asked for some information on that. Also, we deferred paying a company $100,000 for a consulting fee for just consulting on the consent decree. We don't really have any work product. We've asked the administration to provide us some work product. That company is VNF Solutions LLC. So we're concerned about what that is all about. And we've also deferred some bond fund discussions from Watershed that also have given us concern. So we're still working on some very important issues regarding the Watershed area. Also, we're working on, and we did talk about in the presentation today, the fog ordinance, fats, oils, and grease. That's one of the main contaminants and into the sewer system that blocks it. And we're working on an ordinance that would have some enforcement, have some teeth to some of the largest violators of the ordinance. Like generally, it's been multifamily developments, so we've got to come up with a way to deal with that effectively. So that is my report to you for this Tuesday, and join me next week for another edition of Nancy Jester Reports. Thanks.